Thank you. On the eve of the celebration that you have here on your planet, and it is worldwide, it isn't set in stone in any just one religion or modality. There is a celebration of peace, a celebration of unity, a celebration for 24 hours. You might look at your time of individuals getting together to send good wishes, to get a sense and a feeling of oneness once again that seems to escape so many on your planet throughout the year. As you come together this eve, there's a few things we wish to share with you, but we're going to let somebody come forward to speak, somebody you're familiar with. I am incredibly emotional to be in front of you tonight, to be with all of you. You might know me as the comforter, the master of the heart, for I came here thousands of years ago to show you a way, to show you within yourself you hold a precious gift. That precious gift is within everyone. And we will talk about that shortly. But first, I want to wake you up, help you become aware of what is truly happening in these moments. If you were to see right now with me, if you were to be with me in this moment, you might be able to look around, and it would be through your feeling energy, your energetic body, and you would see thousands upon thousands upon thousands of energetic beings that are here to serve you. Yes, serve you. They're only waiting for one opportunity that you might bring forward and project out, and that's to ask for that assistance. So many are being closed down at this time with the tumultuous acts and situations that are happening on the planet, in the world, not within yourselves, but in the world. that are causing many, many, not necessarily old souls, but even some of them to steep into judgment. The darkness really cannot win in this situation, for there is no winning. But the more strength they gain from the confusion and the chaos that is going on, assist them to hold on a little bit longer. But there still is an ending to all this. And it's coming about soon. The beginning of the end is coming about soon. You are at the end of what you have as a year time frame. The end of this year is the end of a year of 7. For if you look at the numbers, they add up to a 7. And 7 is a divine number. This year was a strong year to allow yourself, each one of you, to begin to feel the divinity that you hold within yourselves. There was a lot of energy, a lot of guidance over this past year to assist you to feel that, not know it, not think it, not place it into some energetic words that are of low frequency, but to truly feel it from the gift that you have within your heart. To break down the barriers that are holding you back from feeling your truth. For in feeling your truth, the spoken word does not even have to be used. For the projection from the heart is so strong. The sensations that you send from within yourself and outward, once you have found that truth, touches everything. It touches that divine spark that is latent in other people, situations, even on the earth itself. Yes, the earth is your mother, and you can be shrouded in her energy to assist you to move ahead, to go deeper within so that you can support her in the process that she is going through as well. For the earth has a heart as well. And at the end of this year, it is the end of the work that was being done to help you escape the low frequencies that your body was holding on to, the thoughts that your thinking mind was holding on to, the cells that have been in low density, even your energetic body, to open up the energetic body, to open up the cells, to open up your mental, physical, and emotional bodies to a new way that you have no comprehension of where it's going, but you know it's an opening. The opening is at hand. The opening will be happening within the next 2 weeks. As you all know, the solar flares that came down just recently were the greatest solar flares that have ever happened that have been recorded. We had shared with you before Tomei came here in some of the last channels that were shared with you that there would be intense energies coming down to assist you, and that some of you would be overwhelmed by them. yet not overwhelmed into a position that they didn't assist you. For as the energies come in, they end up placing themselves within your energetic body to be used at another time. This is something we wish to share with you tonight. Within your energetic body, there's an intensity there. Sometimes to awaken to it, you will feel it. It might even make your physical body shake. This is part of the ascension process. This is part of you raising up your light body to a higher level. But physically, you are here. So grounding yourself with Mother Earth is very important. But also opening up your heart to the energetic body that you have when you are in a grounded state brings on an even more importance as you continue to grow and let go of those things that don't serve you. Many of you in these last few months, possibly even in this last week or two, have gone through a tremendous amount of letting go. And what I share with you in the letting go is not necessarily getting up on the cross so all can see. It's not about getting up on the cross and proving to everybody that you have found your way of letting go of this, let's say, defined way of being on this planet. It is truly, truly an intimate, divine process, internally known only to you, what it is that you must let go of. The energies that have been coming in this last week have been profound. The reason they have been coming in so strongly is that you're the end of the seven year. Your end of the 2023 year is providing you a cleansing, a great cleansing. Some of you are going through so much in just 1 or 2 weeks, it's almost hard to bear. Things that you thought you let go of, things that have been there forever, are raising up and standing in front of you. Things you don't wish to see, you don't wish to be with. But for you to clear these out will open up the opportunity to find balance next year, which is an 8 year. An 8 year turned sideways is an infinity symbol, bringing you balance into your life. But in the middle of that infinity symbol, you might say is a dot, an opening, a vortex. That vortex, that opening, is your heart space. Remember when you did the infinity symbol meditation? It was all centered through the sacred space of your heart. You inhaled through the sacred space of the heart, out in front of you, around the top of your head, back around your back through the heart space, out in front of you, down below your feet, around to the backside, bringing it back up again through the heart space and continuing the infinity symbol as you breathe. As you look at that number 8 for an 8 year, the middle of that 8 is your heart space. What you have on either end is a pure dualistic way of being in this world. Pure duality. On your left side is a feminine aspect. On the right side is the masculine aspect. And as it both comes to the middle, they join together to allow creativity to take place. And as that creativity takes place, let's just say in the dot or the sacred space of the heart, it can go out and project out into the feminine aspect to heal whatever needs to be healed there. or what has to be manifested there. And the same goes for the masculine. There is no judgment on either place. It is part of the cycle as you go forward into next year to be able to manifest with yourself in balance now because you've let go of so much in this past year. The energies that came down from the solar flares, and I could go into it scientifically because they assisted me as well when I walk the planet. The sun is your great ally. It allows the dynamic energies that come from the galactic core, which in this case were extremely, extremely high, buzzing in a way that you could not have handled. It would have burned you away. But going through the sun filtered it for you. But it had to come out, let's say, an explosion. It had to be sent out in such a way that it caused a dynamic shift upon the planet as it was hitting the planet. The gamma waves that came in were the highest gamma waves that have ever been recorded. As you have done your studies, you know the gamma waves are part of your brain, the neurological centers of your brain. The more you can allow the gamma waves to take part in your process, the more connection you have with other realms, the more connections you have with what's outside of you, kind of, because that's how you see it. But in other dimensions, other beings, other frequencies and vibrations, all seem to come from outside of you. And we would suggest that that is not true. That they actually are projecting within your heart space and bypassing your physical body to finally be outside of you, where your energetic body, which holds what are called antennas, which are glias, register and pick up this energy that is coming outside of you from the inside. It appears to you that these energies and this information that's coming in is coming from the outside, where actually the energies have been coming down through the vortexes above and below you into your heart space, and then projected out of your physical body into your energetic body and placing itself outside of you, where your energetic body can pick up these energies. By allowing yourself to open up your heart space more, which is what we have been talking about for years, this process becomes commonplace for you. It becomes automatic for you. And within that automatic process, you will be able to connect with other beings, other guides, other energies, other dimensions that will begin to speak to you. They speak to you through telepathy. The Atlanteans that were here, that began this process so long ago, will be some of those who are going to come back to you. You will hear their voices as such in the words that have vibration from a higher place. You will notice and sink in to what those voices feel like to you. Almost as if you're hearing from a friend again that you haven't heard from for thousands of years. You will know who they are. You will know their names, you might say. You can call out to them that way. For you have labeled all the angels And when you speak to the angels, you use their name as a direct communication to be able to be with them, connect with them, their vibration. The same is going to start happening with others who are outside of this third dimensional realm that wish to still assist as the shift is still taking place. For they were unique in getting it going so many hundreds of thousands of years ago, and now wish to participate in this as well. It is a loving presence. It is a feeling that you will have in the sacred space of your heart, a knowing of that feeling, not a definition, not a knowing of thinking, but a true feeling that you're in the right place at the right time. The direction that each one of you must take at this point might sound very selfish, but each one intimately must follow their heart and do the best you can to not be disrupted or distracted by what's going on outside of you. All that's going outside of you will just continue to go on. The control, the manipulation, the way the world is fighting against the world. Leave the world to fight the world. You cannot fix anything. You cannot change anything. The only way you make a change is within your own heart space and by implanting the energies that continue to come in, that reach outside of your energetic body. As you project and feel those and enhance them, you place that within the Earth's energetic field. And the Earth continues to grow. You are an intricate part. You're a huge participant in the shift that's taking place. And not every soul is. Does every soul have the opportunity to? Absolutely. There is nobody that's ever left behind. However, you have been given an incredible gift, a gift that some of you just don't seem to understand at this point. It is a gift that, let's just say, keeps on giving. And it's your ability to choose. You've had the freedom to choose. And by working through some of the things you are letting go of, those choices that you made in the past, they have caused you to possibly suffer or to be in pain. Relationships, jobs, situations, things that you wish you could take back. I will say to you at this point, they are all gifts that you gave yourself. The choices that you made were gifts you gave to yourself, as bad or as good as they might look, to be able to get you to this place right now in this moment, because that is all there is. If you continue to cling on to the choices you've made in the past, your heart will not open. It will stay closed. This is another grand choice that you can begin to take place. If you allow the energies that have been coming in, even within this last week, and you truly, truly see the gratitude you can have for all the choices that you have made in your lifetime, all of them, good or bad, can you be grateful? Can you enjoy that you actually chose those things and it brought you to where you are today? It's the gift of choice. Some call it free will. But choice seems to resonate a little bit better for you. It takes responsibility and courage to look at yourself and not project outward. The mirror is in front of you. It is not a mirror of judgment. It is a mirror of joy. When you can look at everything you have chosen, whether it was through the strategy or program, the ego that you know so well that's been manifested by you and can't be touched by another human because it is stronger than anybody could do outside of you. When you can be at one with those choices you made out of those programs, when you can truly feel grateful that they have brought you to where you are today, the burden is lifted. There is no suffering. There is no pain. There is only gratitude for all that you have walked through, for it has brought you to where you are today. The essence of your ascension process is when you can become unified with yourself. For without being unified to yourself, to be in your own special place of the heart, that sacred place that once again is located right in the middle of that infinity symbol, it allows you to be unified and be able to project out the feelings that your soul and your heart feel that are unified. The joy that you feel is unique. No one, no soul that's on the planet right now can feel joy the way you feel, can feel the gratitude the way you feel. You can share it with others, but it's up to their choice whether they wish to accept it. That doesn't mean we don't send out that sense of joy, comfort, compassion, understanding, forgiveness, but we must experience that first. I experienced it fully. I even went beyond what the elders were showing me in Yassine camps. For even back then, the modality that was being presented had some confinement to it, had some control to it. It wasn't completely free energetically. I had to bring that within it myself. It was unique unto me. That doesn't mean I'm any better than anybody else. I chose that direction to go. I chose to go on the cross. I chose to die the way I died. I chose to forgive the Roman soldiers. I chose to forgive all the Sadducees. I chose. You have the same opportunity. You know this. You know this. You remember this. It is part of your heart. There is no question that you can feel it right now. Some of you are in tears because you truly know the truth that you feel inside. It would be nice if everybody outside of you understood, but not everybody will. You might feel alone. You might get judged. I want to say, who cares? For your direction within your heart is your direction. The uniqueness of what you present to this earth, as far as energetically, is unique. Without you, this can't happen. That might seem it puts a burden on your shoulders, but it brings a freedom on your shoulders, actually. Be able to find the truth that you hold within yourself that is so connected to the universe. You know about infinite abundance. You know about this, but what is infinite abundance? Truly, what is it? There always seems to be some kind of definition that others want to use to say, well, this is what infinite abundance is. I would suggest to you that infinite abundance actually is just consciousness. And consciousness is unbounded. It has no limitations anywhere, way beyond anything you can even comprehend. The scientists, and even as much as they are trying to send out as many telescopes as they possibly can to find out the Big Bang, will never, ever, ever see it. Ever. The expansion of the energetic realm of Source's love and Source's way of manifesting all things is beyond anything that can be comprehended because it just continues to go. It never stops. Consciousness every second of your time grows beyond bounds that you could not even feel. It is so big and so strong. Infinite doesn't do it justice. And it is everywhere on this planet. It's everywhere in the small little cells that you have in your body. It's everywhere and continues to grow and expand. There is no end to it, into that infinite possibility of what is there. Within that consciousness, when you tap into it, you know by your feelings, because you all have worked on this very deeply, you can feel the different densities, the different vibrations of what is going on in consciousness itself. If you could stop judging it and just being with it, then the infinity symbol takes over. But as long as you see one consciousness is bad and another consciousness is good, you're stuck in the third dimensional way of being in things. You are moving past a third dimensional dualistic way into a fifth dimensional pure dualistic way, which means there is no judgment on duality. That can take some time. This next year is the time frame for you to work on this and to manifest in balance, which means you must be in balance. If you're being pushed in one direction only, then you're stuck on that consciousness. You're a master of your own consciousness, of your own ability to see clearly with your heart. You know this. You know you're being controlled by one consciousness. It's not to say that you're not going to be drawn back into it. But the point is how long can you recognize it before it takes over and you become attached to it? There is no excuses anymore. That sounds harsh, but the point is you all know this. You all know this from the choices you have been making. So simply make different choices. That's the simplification of it all, is to simply make different choices and make them from the balanced place of your heart. As you do this, the situations become clear. The synchronicities happen over and over and over again. You see the direction that your heart wants to take you. Some of you might think, well, the synchronicities are created by the universe. Well, if the universe is coming out of your heart space, where is it truly coming from? If the projection of the consciousness of the universe comes through that dot, comes through your heart space and out into your energetic field, where's it truly coming from? It's coming from you. What will you choose? If you allow your heart to direct you, it doesn't matter which way it goes, for you will trust and know that this is the direction I must go right now because this is for my greatest good, for my growth as a soul in this moment. It becomes automatic once again. The voices you will hear will become automatic if you clear things out. If you continue to choose and force situations in your life, you already know the results. You can feel the results. You know that things are not going in the right directions, yet you continue to choose to force it to happen until maybe finally everything has to fall apart so you can see the choices you made. But then can you be in gratitude for that instead of trying to attach yourself to suffering and pain and victimhood? Sure, you might be able to do that, and possibly that's what you're supposed to experience anyway to some degree, but eventually, how much suffering and pain and victimhood do you really have to have in your journey to know what victimhood really is all about? Isn't it time to switch gears and begin the chance of manifesting joy, comfort in as many moments as you possibly can, to see clearly that the choices that are there for your heart to be filled are starting to go in different directions. Now, of course, your ego is going to try and stop you. It's going to create a fear of some kind. It wants to hold on as much as it can, and that's okay. For it's something you built within yourself. You manifested within your own energetic field. But as you know, it doesn't serve you any longer. It has served you to survive. I'm telling you, you don't have to survive anymore. You needed to survive before. That's what you were taught. Haven't you been taken care of these last few years? Truly, when you have surrendered yourself to consciousness, hasn't it always come to you? Hasn't it always taken care of you? Maybe not the way you wished it would, but hasn't it always taken care of you? And when you get in the way, what happens? It's almost a learning curve to quit being in the way and to finally surrender. You're not giving away your ability to be in this world. You're giving away the stuckness and attachment of how it's supposed to look. That's what your ego wants you to do. It wants you to be stuck and attached to one way of how it's supposed to look. And it takes a lot of courage and trust to finally drop that and move on to a different situation. Choice. Choice is the greatest gift that you have given yourself in your journey. We assist all of you. There are so many here who are ready to come down. In fact, some of them are already next to you. You can feel the energy. You can feel those guides, assistants that are there. They're here always. When you're closed, you can't feel them, but they're still there anyway. Some want to know how to find some way to connect with their guides or with other energies. They see some do it and they wonder why they can't. And the answer is pretty simple. It's because they are closed. They have the same opportunity as anybody else, but there's some more work to be done to open up the channels so the energies can come through. Again, nobody left behind, but each individual must work on themselves and make the choices for themselves that will take them into that comfort, into that balance that is now being presented within the next couple of weeks. You will notice the change. There'll be no doubt. Some of you have already gotten there. Some of you already feel it and know it. Some just need to catch up, and that's okay. There's no judgment on that whatsoever. Everybody is in their own journey, their own kind of time frame, which there really isn't any time, but they're all in their own time frame, their own journey, making choices. And sometimes those choices have to be so far to one side to understand that there's another way of being with something. Today's message is about what is going to happen. It's a heads up to know that everything you've been doing, especially this past year, is finally coming to a head. I would say to you that there's no expectation upon anyone to continue the process of letting go of things from the past at this point. Many of you have done a sufficient amount of work to finally be in that what we were all were talking about was the 51% of crossing over. Some of you have crossed over, you don't even know it because you're so busy with some of the choices you're making in a practical way on the planet. If you were to take a little bit of silence each day and feel the energies that are outside of you in your energetic body, not outside your energetic body, but outside your physical body in your energetic body, you would notice that things have changed. By letting go of some of the things you've had to let go of, that vibration now is dormant, it's gone. And as you've served yourself and served others this past year, you have been filling in that emptiness with a higher vibration. We're asking you to feel that, to enhance that. Take some time. Most old souls don't know how to receive. They're so constructed to give. If you don't receive, you'll have nothing to give. You need to take care of yourselves. We are providing the energies to come through to help you do that, but you must choose them. You must choose you. I told you a little while ago that that might sound selfish, but the point is you must choose you. You're too important at this juncture. It's too much to let yourself go. It's time for you to take care of you. Others that you serve in whatever situations they might be will still be assisted. But understand that if you choose you, the energies that are coming through your heart space are consciousness. And that consciousness automatically go to those people, and you don't have to work so hard. Become smooth, gentle, comforting. You might even notice every once in a while words that come out of your mouth, you have no idea where they came from. You have no idea what's been going on. And yet, there they are. And somebody will say to you, thank you so much for sharing with me. It really moved me. And you sit back and you go, what did I say? Because you allowed yourself to be open. You allowed yourself to be a true conduit. That is who you are, truly, is a true conduit. You don't have to become one. You are one. You don't have to learn how to open yourself up. It's already there if you just get out of your own way and don't attach yourself to the things you're trying to do. The gifts you hold are many, beyond your comprehension, quite frankly. It has always been said that you have more within you than I could have ever enhanced myself with. It was just the beginning. So on the eve of what you celebrate in my coming, the gift I bring to you is the gift of wisdom, the gift of comfort, the gift of understanding, the gift of the heart. Allow yourself to feel and sense that within yourself and expand on it within the next couple weeks as things come, energies come. It's going to get stronger. You're going to start feeling some of the energies that have already come through that are waiting within your energetic body. Bless yourselves. Bring grace to yourselves. There is so much to enjoy in this life. Let the world be the world. Leave it behind. You can still participate, but in a truly different way. It's your choice. Hey, everyone. I am like burning up. So, what did the dog get out of this? I see a dog there. Is that Kim's dog?
It was beautiful. Yes, that's Patty.
Hey, Katie.
It's beautiful.
He was very, very strong tonight. His energy was like really trying to make a point. Um, Loving in an incredible way, but just really wanting to make a point. I don't know if you guys felt that or not, but it was really strong. Um, so I'm just trying to ground myself. Anybody wish to share anything that hit them or what they felt? Excuse me. Are trying to get these mosquitoes. You're bad. Any thoughts? Anybody?
Yeah, I'll share a little too. Can you hear me okay, Tomei?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, it hit me really powerfully, the feeling of choice being such a gift and kind of not taking that for granted. Um, that just with all of, with just every aspect I feel of the journey, like the awareness and the choice that we have, just kind of reflecting on that and just the softness and the beauty of honoring all the decisions that came before it to get to where we are now, even though sometimes there's the shame or there's the, God, why did I make that decision? But just that bringing in the gratitude, and just really celebrating, kind of like he shared, of just how much of a gift it is that we do have that ability to choose moment to moment, no matter what the situation is, no matter how much parts of us are kicking and screaming, that we can, if we can ground ourselves in that moment and just be like, but wait a minute, I still have a choice in whatever direction I want to take, whatever happened past, irrelevant, that it's just a really, really special thing, and brought a lot of appreciation that I didn't have as much before for just that aspect.
Yeah. Um, the other thing I kind of that kind of hit me with that too was that it doesn't matter the choice, but that you become aware of the choice. You know, a lot of times we just choose out of not being clear. We choose just because we choose. We choose because it's part of our program, or we choose because that's the right thing to do according to society, all that sort of thing. And we don't recognize the choice we're making. We just do it. And the feeling of it was it's time to become one with the choice you're making. Become more conscious. What I was feeling when he was talking about that was that it's like there's this consciousness of the choice. And if I don't honor that, and I just do it from attachment to the way that society says we're supposed to do it, for instance, then I'm not being conscious of what I'm doing. I'm just giving my choice away to somebody instead of actually being with the choice and the consciousness I'm creating in the moment that I'm making the choice. It's like, wow, it is so powerful. I mean, think about even the simplest choices you're making. When you just make them, you just make them. Today, I got finished doing a really, really long run. And I was in the parking lot and I sat there. This is bringing me back to a choice I made today. I was sitting in the car and pretty exhausted. And there's a gelato stand right around the corner there in the parking lot. And I'm like, oh, I shouldn't choose that because, I just got done running all this stuff and I laughed at myself and I thought, well, no, the consciousness I'm creating is joy. I want to go have a scoop of ice cream and I want to be happy about it. And I was like a little kid and all this energy and consciousness was still there. And it was like, oh my God, that's what he's talking about.
Mm.
He's talking about being conscious of the choice you're making, no matter how small it might be. But instead of judging yourself for it, you just smile and you're like a little kid, like you're back at the Dairy Queen back home when I was 8 years old and I got an ice cream cone. I'm like, oh, it's the greatest thing in the world. It felt the same. It was amazing. It was amazing. And it's kind of like that. I mean, that's what just brought me back to it right now. It's like I did that today and I didn't even realize I did it. But there it was. And wow, how powerful that we have that kind of will or that kind of knowing in our heart that we can bring all kinds of consciousness to the choices that we make, even on a daily basis. Sounds kind of, I guess, overwhelming, but in some ways, no. It's very simple. So anyway, I went off on you there. Sorry.
We saw your inner 8-year-old just for a second.
There you go. Still here. Yeah.
It was really powerful. I really loved in the beginning just talking about the world and a little bit about sort of the old consciousness trying to hang on a little longer, and that is possible the more we kind of get wrapped up in confusion with it. I thought really powerful guidance to remember, especially for these times. Everything about more connections, more connections with the energetic supports around that feels very alive right now. Have been seeing that, feeling that, but also watching it show up for other people as well. People who have said to me in the beginning of meeting them, oh, I'm not intuitive. And then now as they're more present with their dream state, they're seeing that they actually are intuitive and just getting those, receiving those gifts. So it was awesome to hear that as well. My train of thought is a little foggy because these dogs are growling at each other outside. They sound like zombies. But yeah, all of it was really powerful and really perfectly timed for what's showing up, at least for me right now. So really grateful.
Cool.
Tom, the very beginning of what was talked about today, it hit me yesterday. I went for a jog. It was kind of snowy a little bit and cold and everything, but Christmas Eve was always, as I was growing up, a time when everybody was still hustle and bustle and all this until 5 o'clock. And then 5 o'clock, everything shut down. Gas stations, stores, there was nothing going on except your own world of your family or your friends, and you couldn't go anywhere because nothing was open. Everything stopped, and there was a feeling of peace and just kind of finally the world just kind of said enough. Let's just stop and enjoy. And when I was running yesterday, I kept feeling that Christmas Eve, because that was the day before, obviously. And I go, tomorrow, I know there's still going to be stuff going on. Things have changed a little bit. There's football games tonight, which is crazy. And there's all sorts of things happening in our world that used to be totally shut down. And the very first thing that he said today was, enjoy the celebration and peace and unity. It hadn't have anything to do with religions. It just had to do with being at peace and unity together. And that touched on what I was thinking yesterday is, and he brought that up. He said, we should be feeling this almost all the time, but we don't. We get caught up in everything else. And yet, at least for 24 hours, it's kind of, this is the time to kind of shut down and reflect and be at peace. So that was kind of the beginning of the channel today, connected with me totally, because that's what I was thinking kind of yesterday. And then as the whole channel went on, obviously at the end, he talked about all the, what was the messages. And I kept thinking, the message that I kept thinking or getting, and Dane hit on it quite a bit, is the gratitude of having choice. And that and he said it, he goes, the gift of choice. And that we sometimes don't maybe take that for granted. And and what you were talking about, Tom, today, when you had the run and stuff, is we don't need to we try not to judge others, but we don't need to judge ourselves. Is to enjoy and take in the choices that we have and enjoy them, and don't beat ourselves up, and don't judge ourselves, because we may say, well, I just went for a run, I can't have ice cream, type of thing. It's like he kept touching on, we have the gift of that choice always, and we should be grateful for that. And I've heard you say those words before. This is a lot of stuff that I've heard you talk about in the past. It's, if you go from your heart, if you're making choices from your heart and not from your mind. And so I think he really hit on that a lot today, is, take advantage of your heart, so to speak, and enjoy it, and revel in the choices that you have. It was really, really a cool channel, I thought. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Just feeling really emotional all of a sudden. Go ahead, Mary.
Yeah, it was so powerful. It's everything. I hear it all the time. Wow, what a gift today to hear it this way. And the infinity breath is interesting that came up so much, because I've been practicing a bit of that, and also the bubble meditation that I love. But wow, and trying to feel that way, and maybe start practicing when I'm not just sitting in that energy, but you're walking in it, and trying to take that infinity as you walk and move around and communicate. Because I, don't always do that, but so grateful to see you all and to feel this today. Just, I'm buzzing. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, all of a sudden, it's like my emotions are starting to take over. So it's like I'm shifting into a different place right now. Just so blessed. I mean, so blessed that we all can participate in this consciousness, this infinite abundance, in any way we wish. And all the choices that we make are all going to be different. And as we make those choices, there's, it's like it doesn't take away from the consciousness. Actually, it builds it up because you're manufacturing or manifesting more higher frequency that you're adding back to it by making the choices you are from the conscious. It's just like, it's just crazy how this infinity symbol brings so much balance to everything that we do. But also it keeps replaying itself. It keeps bringing more energy out, taking energy out, taking it in, taking it out, taking it in. It's a beautiful dance. It just keeps happening by the choices we make. And we are in charge to make the choices we make until we become more conscious of those choices to keep that infinity symbol going without judgment. It's like, wow, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Hey, Nance, go for it.
hello. Yeah, it was, there's so much to say about it. I'm so glad, like I said, that I happened to see the email, like probably it was 1 o'clock in the morning last night. I stayed up to watch something really late. I was so glad I saw it so that I could come in here and be here today. And then when, when the group said, we're gonna let somebody else in to talk, and I was like, oh my God, it's Christmas Eve, and here it is, Jesus talking to us, like, right? And the
Yeah.
message was so beautiful about, it's gonna make me cry, just going into your heart and being there in the craziness in the world. And we talked about this over the years, and sometimes your heart is aching for all these people who are suffering, but yet, it's like just go into your heart. And the best way to promote peace in the world is to have peace within and then spread it out. And it's interesting for me because I'm getting over COVID. So I've been sick all week and I feel pretty good, but I'm missing on all this hustle and bustle. And I would have had to work like 5 times this week and then still try and do stuff. But instead I just really stayed home and hardly done anything. And talk about receiving. I can't believe like how many people have been reaching out to me and said, what do you need? I can drop something off. And I've been receiving. I've been like saying, well, great, thanks. Yeah, maybe I'm running out of coffee. Could you go get some coffee? Just different things. So it's just been absolutely beautiful. And I took like 5 pages of notes. But I often do that kind of stuff. And I just feel so blessed that you are able to receive these messages and that Jesus came in to talk to us and it's I'm like kind of out of words really, but it was so powerful, the message in so many different levels. And I really thank you for all your work to do this, and thanks. I'm glad you heeded the call, that you felt like, hey, they're telling me I need to get this message out. And I hope eventually a lot more people can hear it, through your YouTube channel, because it was just beautiful. So thank you so much.
Yeah, Priest, thank you. I think, in retrospect with that, the people that are ready to hear it will hear it.
Yeah.
If somebody, like yourself, loved it so much, you'll share it with somebody else and it'll be perfect because that's what they needed to hear in that moment. It's kind of the way it works, mystery schools have been working that way forever. It's really more on an intimate basis where we communicate with each other one-on-one as opposed to trying to send it out to masses of people and things like that. It's more powerful in that capacity because it really touches the person that really is ready to hear how that works. So but yeah, thanks, I appreciate that. Anyone else want to?
Yeah,
Lisa, Shauna, you guys want to say anything? Denise?
ask a question, Tomei.
Absolutely.
So I know we talk about this, so we've talked so much about this in the past, we touched a little bit in it on the channel, but kind of that on the topic of choices, and with what's been going on in the world, and especially the in the Middle East, just struggling with my own judgments about just like, you know, just not, you know, wanting to take sides on anything, but just seeing the atrocities like across the world that are taking place. And you're just like, when do we, regardless of who we identify with and the tribalism and this and that and all of our identities and programming, like when do we just say enough is enough? And you know, like the channel talked a little bit about being in that fifth dimensional, you know, more perspective, and the world doing what the world is going to be, but you also seeing it on a daily basis, and definitely, you know, feeling it, but also going to that judgmental place of like, how much more corruption and like, you know, can we be with? And so I don't know, just any thoughts on how to just how to be with those judgments that are going to come up, and how to maintain that higher level perspective that this is all coming out for a reason, and that, yeah, just not going to a place of judgment.
Well, I mean, those are really tough questions to answer, because I'm going to suggest anywhere there really isn't any other solution to it except to be internally with ourselves. The world is going to be the world, and they're going to do everything they can to control whatever they want to control. You know, there's things coming out left and right on the news about all kinds of stuff from Epstein, you know, releasing all these names for the child pornography stuff and all that. All these people who are freaking out now because they're going to be found out. But, you know, well, the reason I bring that out is, you know, eventually the circle comes around, and whatever you project out, however you try and control or judge or attach yourself to whatever it is, it's going to come around, and you'll have to face that in the mirror. I can't imagine, really, you know, my past. I've done some pretty mean things, I guess, and made some big judgments just like everybody else, and so on. And to be able to forgive yourself for all that is really difficult. But in the end, the mirror that you look at is you. And I can't imagine what some of these mirrors are going to look like for some of these other people, and how they're going to have to deal with the energies that they created and manifested, because they created and manifested these energies in the world. They did. There's no doubt they're going to have to take responsibility. Their soul will have to take responsibility eventually. How that plays out, I really don't care. In that capacity, that I have enough to work with on my own, in my own judgments, in the way I present myself to the world. I spend my time working on that. If my heart directs me to get involved with something else, then I listen. But up to this point, that hasn't been the case. Like you say, I don't take sides on anything. I see how it all works out, and each person that makes the choices they make in their life and causes harm to other people in ways that we can't even comprehend. I don't know how that's all going to play out. I know one thing, that each soul that's on this planet right now has a divine nature to it. I don't care who they are. I don't care who they are. I really don't. I want to do the best I can to be in a position to touch that divine nature if I'm given the choice to do that. You know, Biden hasn't called me yet. Trump hasn't called me yet. Putin hasn't called me yet. If any of them ever did, the door would be open. I'd be happy to serve in whatever capacity I can to assist them to find the truth. That's all I can say. But you know what? I got to be in a position to be able to do that. If I don't work on myself sufficiently, I can't serve them anyway.
Mhm.
So to me, there's a constant, there's a commitment and a constant, how would I say it? My journey never ends. It's just every day there's something new. I try and wake up every day and say, okay, the day's here. I wonder how it's going to present itself to me. And what choices will I have? During that run today, I had 3 choices. Do I do the first loop? Then I get that done, and I'm like, okay, I'll do the second loop. I finally get that done, and now I got a choice to make the 3rd loop, and I'm like, do I really want to do this? And by doing it, it presented a whole different experience to me than the first 2 did. And I was very grateful for it, even though it was tough. There was some situations in it. But the point is that if we keep making the choice to grow and improve ourselves in whatever way that is, then when the time comes for us to be presented with something, we can make a choice that's not in judgment. If we fill our heads, I think, with the news and all these commentators and all these things that go back and forth, and this is the way it should be, and no, this is the way it should be, and all of a sudden you feel yourself being drawn into the black hole of judgment and control and manipulation and so on. It's really going to be hard for you to take a step back and work on yourself. Doesn't mean you don't stay aware of what's going on. Do the best you can to not be attached to it. That's all. And keep working on yourself. And then every day I guarantee you that every day there's going to be something in the day that because you worked on yourself, you're open to what's being presented to you, and you can make a choice that's going to be the best for all. That's all I got. I ain't got anything else than that. I don't. I just don't. I can't solve the problem in the Middle East. I can't solve the problem in the United States. I can't solve the problem in Cyprus. But you know what? When the choice came, when our landlord said, "Would you be willing to run 2 marathons so we can raise money for terminal cancer?" I mean, get emotional about it. It's like, are you kidding me? Really? You want me to do that? Wow. They opened the door for me to again assist other people in a different country. And I didn't know that coming over here, but I certainly was in a position to be open to it and to feel it. I'm feeling it right now. There's no judgment. Somebody might say, well, geez, you didn't do that much over in our country. Why are you doing it over there? Getting into that judgment part of it and all this stuff. It's like, no, we're all one. We're all the same people. We're all trying to do the best we can. Can I make a difference here? Well, apparently so. So I'll step to the plate, but I have to know within myself that that's possible and own it and be responsible for it. That takes a lot of work, man. Never ends. Every day there's something new, and you just keep growing and do the best you can not to judge anything. That's all I can say. Easy? No. There's lots of distractions in the world for sure. But I think he said tonight, he made a line tonight, something like, leave the world to be with the world. It's pretty simple. Sounds like you're checking out, but I don't think you're checking out. You're just saying, I'm not going to be attached to the world. I'm going to continue my journey, and you guys are doing a great job in Guatemala. My God, there's got to be an incredible feeling when you're serving those people and you're serving yourself, serving those people. There's got to be a feeling that's really deep. At least that's what I would imagine.
Tom, I think you hit on a point that, and I won't go a long time on this, but I can think of so many times I made a choice and had no clue what the outcome or what the experience was going to be. And I think you just touched on that, is when you tie in the gift of choice, we don't know what the experience is going to be, but if you just accept the experience for what it is,
Mhm.
no matter where it takes you, if you just accept the experience from the choice you made
Yeah.
and run with it that way. And yeah, it's just what you were just talking about. You know, you've made numerous choices to go to another place, and now look at the experience you're getting. And I think
It's daily. It's not even, once in a while. It's like, and Lisa could even talk about this too. It's just like, it's daily. I mean, it's amazing. And the feeling, and I would say that, you said acceptance. I would say there's also the word allowance has a place there too, to allow yourself to be open to what might come, as opposed to trying to judge and kind of make it happen, that kind of thing. It's kind of like just it'll show up the way it's going to show up. You still have to act on it, if you will. But when you allow it to happen, it's almost like you act in it in a place of joy already, because you're so like, I can't believe this is happening. And you're just already like a little kid in the candy store, like, yeah, this is cool. I'll go do this. That sort of thing, So, I almost had him.
Maybe it's
He
a
knows when I'm coming. He knows when I'm coming.
He knows when you're awake.
maybe it's a visitor, Tomei.
It's a visitor. He's taken enough blood from me now, so I don't know what he's going to do. He can't fly eventually. What about you guys? How about you, Lisa and Sean? Anything? And Kim, you guys want anything you want to share?
Hi. Yeah, I guess I kind of have a question, and I don't know if I actually heard Yeshua say this or if it was just a feeling that I got from his words. But I don't know if I heard that if you choose from your heart, then your choice is always the right choice. And so when you have, for example, like my pull to come over here and talking to you about, I have to go back to the United States. I just feel this incredible pull, and I have to choose now whether I go or not.
Yeah, it
And
was
so
a pretty instantaneous choice.
very last minute, very
Yeah.
difficult choice to make, to leave you at this time of year and to come back here. But I felt this incredible need to do it.
Mhm.
So I had to choose, and I chose, and I even said to Shauna when I got here, I had to come, and I don't know why other than to help Shauna. But I still feel that it was the right choice. And so I guess that's just my question is, I mean, we all have to make choices all the time, little choices of what do I have for breakfast to big choices. Do we move to Cyprus? So it seems to me that if you make those choices with love and from your heart, that the outcome's always good. The outcome, and even if all the things we've had to experience in our lives to get where we are right now that have been painful, all the suffering, and Yeshua said we're in the right place because of that. And so, well, I don't even know what my question is anymore.
It's okay.
You know what my question is?
Yes, actually, I do. I believe what he said was that when you make a choice from your heart, it's the universe helping you make the choice, because the energy is coming through the heart space like that dot in the unit, the infinity symbol. And so you're getting support in that choice. But if as you listen and open up your heart, then the choice that you're making is supported and is kind of like, I don't want to say the right choice. He said something else, but I can't remember the exact words. And when we follow that, we don't know the future, but when we follow that, we trust that we're making the right choice, if you will. And as things follow after we make a choice, it tells us that we're in alignment with how we were hoping it might turn out, or how we feel about, was that right? Did I make the right choice? And then you get some verification down the road that shows you that yes. And there is never a wrong choice. I would say there's a choice that's made unconsciously, and there's a choice that's made consciously. And what he's asking us to do is to start recognizing that we're bringing consciousness into the choices we're making. And so we're manifesting the outcome. This is really important. It's really important. As I saw him talking about how consciousness is part of that choice, I saw things being created in the universe. When he said the universe was like beyond anything we could understand, I could see that it's almost like in consciousness, choices are being made to expand it, even though it's like on its own doing it. But it really isn't. There's like a drive. There's like something in consciousness that just keeps expanding. And we are participants in that. And if we allow our hearts to let the energies come in, like he was saying, from above and below, and then expand out into our energetic field, when we make a choice consciously, we're using all that energy to make that choice. And we are manifesting an outcome that we feel is going to be a comfortable, balanced outcome is the best words I can come to, because I don't want to limit the outcome. And I'm with you. I kind of sat back after you left. I miss you a lot. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. But I know that I miss Jerry too, you know? And for me to make a choice to move here, I had to really go to my heart a lot. And my heart told me to come. And if I hadn't come, all the stuff that's been happening since we've been here wouldn't have happened. Now, is that a bad thing? Not necessarily. But the point is that by trusting in my heart space and in the guys and everything else, God, we've made such a difference already here. I can't even fathom that happening. I nowhere near could I have seen any of this happen. And also the depth of the beauty that I hold for you and for Jerry is beyond anything I could have comprehended. I mean, I knew I did, but boy, to feel it, really to feel it, wow, it's so powerful. And so when we make those choices, we're using all that energy outside of us. We're using our higher mind and our energetic and our physical, because we're melding the physical with the energetic, and then we're projecting it down into the earth, and we're projecting it out in front of us, saying, we know this is going to be okay. Let's just allow it, and we'll see where it goes. And I can always make adjustments afterwards if I have to. But I trust that it's always perfect for the best of all. I like using that phrase, and I do, that it's the right decision. I just know it's the best for all. I just know it. So there you go. I hope that helped. Shauna, do you guys anything you want to say? Come on now, I know you got something you want to say.
Well, because I closed my eyes to go in and center, to be inside for the channeling, but then I fell asleep. So
Yeah.
I feel very relaxed, very good. Lisa says we can listen to it again
Yeah.
afterwards. But the part that I did hear, and then from people's comments, I had heard something before a couple of weeks ago about nature, and like a tree is happy being a tree because that's was its choice, you know, to be just to be a tree now, but that we have choices always to make, and that's what being human gives us, and how grateful we should be, and taking responsibility for those choices, and that we do create our own reality here and how we affect things. So it's just another reminder, you know, in the bit that I did get from it, that to have a choice is something to be very grateful for,
Mhm.
and not to waste. And are they coming from our heart or from our patterns, our triggers, our culture, our whatever, you know, which is the human side? And then having compassion for ourselves when we do, but recognizing it to help us grow and to come back.
Yeah.
So, you know, your channels are always so soft and always so connected to the heart that it puts me in a place of opening more every single time.
Mm.
So
Nice.
thank you. And I've really enjoyed having Lisa.
Yeah.
And there was some of the, oh, but what about Tom? And he's going to be, you know, by himself in another country for Christmas. But, you know, that's,
It's the
you know,
first time I've ever been alone at Christmas.
and are you feeling that fulfillment from going inside, which is the only place we can feel ourselves anyway? That's one thing that I'm looking at for me.
Yeah. You know, it all has a kind of a ring of truth to it. And I get to experience all sides of this, and that's really good. It's always good. Um, and somehow it seems like what's interesting about where all you guys are at this moment, is that there is such a discrepancy in time. I mean, when I get up in the morning, you guys are fast asleep. When you guys get up in the morning, I'm about ready to go to sleep. So there's this like really wild kind of way of being with things. And my mind is always kind of like, what time is it there? And I was screwing up so much with my sessions because I didn't remember the time frames as well and all that kind of stuff. But now things are settling down a little bit. So being here at this time of year is certainly different. And these guys, they celebrate Christmas, but of course, nowhere near what we do back home. Not even close.
Yeah.
It's very subdued compared to there. And I kind of like it there. I mean, I was just going to say, you know, my choice to believe in Santa Claus, people would scowl at and say, well, that's just crazy. I'm like, you don't get it. I mean, Santa Claus is about being a child. It's about, you know, being a little kid, man. You know, there's a spirit, and he's a spirit. It's a spirit that we have to one day in the year, can you just stop and slow down and think, wow, I get to open up a present today. I couldn't find anything for myself, Lisa. Sorry. I don't need anything. But it's kind of like it's the spirit, you know, that he represents, not the capitalism and all that kind of stuff. It's the spirit. And you can carry that with you, you know, 365 days a year. But even if you carry it just one day a year, you've just implanted a childlike energy onto the planet in that one day. Good job. Why does it have to be 365? It doesn't. It'd be cool if it was, but it's just the point is like, why not at least one day, you know? And so anyway, that's how I look at it. I'm still waiting for him to land his sleigh on top of my roof. Haven't heard anything lately, so I'm waiting. I promised him I'd be in bed by 1 o'clock tonight. It'd come after that. He ain't getting any cookies because I ate them all. So, oh well.
It's really funny. I was telling Dane yesterday, I was like, there's this one movie, and every time I watch it every Christmas, I'm like, at the end of it, for a moment, I believe in Santa Claus again. And I'm like I cry, I get tears, but and it's like
Yeah, absolutely.
you kind of nailed it. It's like, well, what is that but magic and wonder, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Why not? What's the alternative? Bah humbug? I guess I could be Scrooge instead. I guess I don't. Oh, I just watched that, by the way. Finally, they put on TV a Christmas Carol. That was the one Christmas thing they had on this whole time. I was hoping I could see Elf or something to get me going, but that was it. So I got to see George C. Scott play Scrooge. And Tiny Tim was still Tiny Tim, and everybody was happy at the end. And he was one of them. He celebrated Crispy and Christmas in the old town better than anybody ever did after that. So there you go. All right. Anything else from anybody else?
Yeah, can I just share a fun thing, really? I have
Sure.
our youngest brother. Oh, shoot, I forgot to turn my phone down. Anyway, I don't even know where it is at the moment. Well, okay, let me turn it.
Okay, we can't hear it.
Oh, you,
Can't
oh,
hear it.
good. Anyway, my youngest brother is 53 years old, but he's Down syndrome, and he still believes in Santa Claus. It's so cute. He literally still believes in Santa Claus.
That's awesome.
It's so cool because
Yeah.
yeah. So my sister, we have a sister text. I've got a big family, so we were sent in this morning, Merry Christmas and all that, and Christmas Eve, and she said, "Oh yeah, Joe's all excited. Santa Claus is coming to town. Say, or it's coming tonight." So it's just beautiful. 53 years old, So anyway,
That's awesome. Yeah,
it is.
that's
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Well, this has been wonderful. Thanks so much, Tomei, and everybody.
Okay, Nancy. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, and I just loved it. So what a gift.
Okay.
Thank you so
Talk
much.
to you soon.
All
Yep.
right,
See
take
you.
care all.
Love
Bye-bye.
you.
should we sing a Christmas song together?
Sure. What are we gonna sing? What are we gonna sing? You gotta lead us in the words because I always just know the melody half the time and I don't remember the words.
How about you better watch out?
You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why.
Santa
Santa is coming. That's from Elf. To town.
He's making a wish.
Checking it twice.
Twice.
gonna
Gonna
find out
who's
naughty
naughty or nice.
Santa
Claus
is
my day
coming
is coming.
to town.
He
Is sleeping.
knows when you're awake.
awake.
He knows when you've been
Better
So
be
good for
for
goodness
goodness
sake.
Oh, you better watch out. Better not cry.
Cry, better not pout.
Hold on,
Telling
tell
you
why.
why. Santa Claus is coming
Hey,
to
town.
to Tom's roof.
To my little gnome tree.
Just show it to us.
Show him the gnome tree, Tom.
All right, I'll show him the gnome tree. Hold on. Okay, I'm going.
We have a thing for gnomes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is the gnome tree.
Oh.
I think. Let's see. Here we go.
Oh, it's dark there. I forgot.
It's got gnomes all over it. Not names, gnomes. And then we got other gnomes in here too. Gotta turn on a light. We got these gnomes. There's another one. There's another one over here. And there's another one over here. Let's see, can you see that one?
There it is.
And then there's a gnome in the plant. Do you see the gnome in the plant?
No.
Oh, that one
we don't- You see the little red thing in the plant?
Oh, the
yeah, I
little
see
guy,
it.
yeah.
The little guy, yeah. And then, let's see. I got more. This is a gnome in the shower.
In the shower.
Yes. See him?
Nice. Oh my God, look at it, dude.
Wow, that's great.
Nice.
Let me see, where's the other gnome? Is there a gnome in here? Yes, there's a gnome in here too.
You guys really like the gnomes.
Don't you
See?
know, Amanda?
Yeah. There he is.
Oh,
And I think that might be it. It's all gnomed out. That's it, yep.
I see a
Yeah.
resemblance.
So when Santa comes, he's gonna think, oh my God, my workers are here. How did they get here before I did? Hey, guys. Well, everybody sleep tight. Keep one eye open for Santa. Make a recording so we all know he's real. Especially for me.
We're signing off. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Go back to work.
We're gonna.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
See you guys.
Take care. Have a great Christmas.
Yeah, you too. See ya.